Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Brock Lesnar made it look easy against John Cena at Wrestlepalooza in his first match in 2 years. Lesnar hit a lot of F5 south to Cena to get the win in the opening match of the first play under the ESPN WWE partnership. Lesnar returned to WWE at SummerSlam, attacking Cena after losing the undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. The Beast would attack Cena again on his final SmackDown in Chicago, confirming their final match against each other at Wrestlepalooza. The match kicked off WWE's partnership with ESPN, though it turned out to be a mauling. Lesnar dominated Cena for the majority of the match, not allowing the GOAT to gain any momentum. John Cena hit 3 straight attitude adjustments on Brock Lesnar, but it wasn't enough to put down the Beast. It merely did any damage, with Lesnar hitting 6 F5s south to Cena to get the win. After the match, Lesnar wasn't done with his former rival. He first turned his attention to referee Dan Engler and hit the poor official with the F5. He then hit another one on Cena for good measure as kids in Indianapolis cried their eyes out. Brock Lesnar improves. His record against John Cena Wrestlepalooza was the 7th one-on-one match between Brock Lesnar and John Cena heading into the match. Lesnar had a dominating 4-2 to record against the GOAT, the Beasts. Only loss to Cena was at Extreme Rules 2012 and a disqualification defeat at Night of Champions 2014 following his win at Wrestlepalooza. Lesnar finishes his rivalry with Cena with a 5-2 record. It's a one-sided rivalry since the Beast never lost cleanly against Cena. The Extreme Rules match was a no disqualification match, so weapons were used and made a difference. It will be interesting to see what's next for Lesnar, especially with his brief reunion with Paul Heyman at the start of the match, when WWE announced that John Cena would step back into the squared circle for Wrestlepalooza. Fans were already buzzing with excitement. The return of the company's franchise player, pitted against the unstoppable Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, promised fireworks. But no one could have predicted the shocking brutality that unfolded inside the ring, as Lesnar completely dismantled Cena in a match that will be remembered for years to come. From the opening bell, this clash wasn't just another wrestling match, was a statement. Lesnar's dominance and Cena's resilience have been legendary stories throughout WWE history. But at Wrestlepalooza, the scales tipped so heavily in Lesnar's favor that many fans were left stunned, even questioning whether Cena could ever wrestle again. The key talking point: the sheer number of F5 South of Beast's devastating finishing move that Cena absorbed before the match finally came to a close. A rivalry rekindled. Brock Lesnar and John Cena's rivalry is etched into WWE history, from their classic encounter at Extreme Rules 2012 to the infamous SummerSlam 2014 massacre, where Lesnar destroyed Cena with a record-setting 16 German suplexes. These two icons have always told stories of destruction, survival, and sheer willpower. Wrestlepalooza 2025 added yet another chapter to that saga. Cena, now a part-time superstar due to his Hollywood commitments, made his intentions clear before the event. He wanted one more monumental test. "If I'm going down swinging," Cena declared in a pre-match interview. That fighting spirit has always endeared him to fans, but against Lesnar, swinging sometimes just isn't enough. The match begins as soon as the bell rang. Lesnar charged at Cena like a freight train. The early moments were all Beast, all power. German suplexes came in quick succession, shaking the ring with every thunderous slam. Cena, known for his never-give-up mantra, tried to fight back with shoulder tackles and even attempted an attitude adjustment. But Lesnar shrugged it off with frightening ease. Then came the first F5. The crowd erupted. But nobody expected it to be the beginning of a horrifying trend. Cena kicked out, his body battered but his heart refusing to quit. The onslaught of F5s Lesnar wasn't interested in a wrestling match. He was there to make a statement. And he did it in the most brutal way possible, unleashing F5 after F5 on the 16-time world champion. The second F5 came only minutes after the first. Cena barely moved afterward, but again, he kicked out at 2. The audience, sensing something historic, got louder. Lesnar smirked, almost amused by Cena's persistence. The third, fourth, and fifth F5 South followed in relentless fashion. Cena kicked out of some, barely rolled a shoulder up for others. But he was absorbing punishment that no human should be able to withstand by the time Lesnar delivered the sixth F5. Cena's body lay motionless, his face a mask of pain. The referee looked ready to stop the match, but Cena whispered, "Don't stop," when asked if he could continue. That single moment cemented Cena's legacy as one of the toughest superstars in WWE history. And then Lesnar delivered. More, 7, 8, 9. Each F5 was more violent than the last. And the WWE Universe was torn between awe and concern. Was this entertainment, or was Lesnar genuinely ending Cena's career? The final count when all was said and done. Cena had absorbed a staggering 11 F5s. The number is almost unheard of in WWE lore. Typically, 1 F5 is enough to end a match, and 2 might guarantee victory. But at Wrestlepalooza, Cena took 11 before Lesnar finally pinned him, ending the match in decisive, brutal fashion. The final cover was almost merciful. Cena, unable to move, lay on the mat as the referee counted 3. The Beast had conquered WWE's GOAT once again, in a display that was both awe-inspiring and disturbing. Aftermath and reactions. The aftermath was as emotional as the match itself. EMTs rushed to the ring to check on Cena, who eventually sat up with help but could not walk out on his own. Fans gave him a standing ovation, chanting, "Thank you, Cena," while Lesnar stood tall, smirking at the destruction he had caused. Social media exploded immediately. Fans praised Cena's resilience. No one else could survive 11 F5 South. Cena is superhuman. Others criticized Lesnar's dominance. This isn't storytelling. This is career-ending brutality. Legends weighed in. WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle tweeted, "I know tough, and Cena is tough." But that was hard to watch. Respect to both men. Even Paul Heyman, Lesnar's advocate, described it as a masterpiece of violence. The Beast at his absolute peak. What this means for Cena John Cena. This match may have been his swan song. At 48 years old, with Hollywood commitments and a legacy that doesn't need any more validation, taking 11 F5 South at Wrestlepalooza may be his way of passing the torch once again to Lesnar. Cena's career has always been about resilience and setting an example for fans worldwide. Even in crushing defeat, he showed why he's the face of an era. Surviving that much punishment, refusing to quit, and demanding the referee not stop the match. All of it adds to the mythos of John Cena Brock Lesnar. The final bosses for Lesnar. Wrestlepalooza reaffirmed what many already believe. He is WWE's final boss. The endgame challenge that no one can truly conquer. Even in the later stages of his career, Lesnar remains a destructive force capable of redefining brutality inside the squared circle. By destroying Cena in such a manner, Lesnar reminded everyone why he's called the Beast Incarnate. The aura he carries is unlike anyone else in WWE history. Legacy of Wrestlepalooza will be remembered for many things, but above all, it will be remembered for Lesnar's demolition of Cena. It wasn't just a match, it was a spectacle of destruction that showcased both the unstoppable force and the unbreakable will. They may have lost decisively, But in the eyes of fans, his legend grew even larger. And Lesnar. He proved once again that when you step into the ring with him, you're not just wrestling, you're surviving. Brock Lesnar destroys. John Cena, insane number of F5s WWE's GOAT took at Wrestlepalooza, isn't just a headline. It's a reality that fans witnessed with their own eyes. 11 F5 South, a career's worth of punishment in one night. Cena stood tall in spirit, if not in victory, and Lesnar stood dominant as the beast who ends eras. This was not just a match. It was a moment in history that fans will replay, debate, and remember for generations. Wrestlepalooza delivered on its promise of chaos and spectacle, and in the end, it gave us one of the most jaw-dropping displays of dominance in WWE history.